Okay, so the assignment that we're working on today is called Reading ID. Who are you as a reader, and what are your reading preferences? So if we're looking at the next slide, it says to drag the arrow to indicate your responses. The responses say, I like to read, sometimes I like to read, and sometimes I don't, or I don't like to read. And what you're going to do is you're going to scroll over, you're going to click on this arrow, and you're going to drag it. Oops. You're going to drag it to the response that is more like you. So if I don't like to read, I'm going to move my arrow right here and it'll stay there. Okay. On the next slide, let me undo that so it doesn't mess you up. On the next slide, you're going to drag the arrow to your responses again. So it says, when I go to the library, I know exactly what I want to check out. I have trouble finding anything interesting, or I check out something I know I won't read just to get it over with. And same thing as before, on the right hand side, there's an arrow you're going to click and you're going to put that arrow in front of the response that is most like you. For slide 8, on the right hand side, you have some stars. They're green, as you can see right here. You're going to click and hold and move the stars, and you're going to put the star next to your top 5 preferences. So do you prefer fantasy, horror? Do you prefer manga, graphic novels, action stories, true stories? Whatever is your preference, your top 5, you're going to put stars next to. When you get to slide 9, there are 3 questions that we want you to answer. The first one says, what's one book you've enjoyed reading? And you'll explain. So you'll click here in the box where it says type your response. And you can delete this and type out what book you've enjoyed. And then what's one book you've disliked reading? And you'll explain there. And then the third one says, what's one book you would like to read this school year? And then you'll explain there. If you're not sure about a book you want to read this school year, you can always look up young adult novels about if horror or about mystery, whatever your preferences were in that previous slide. You can always look that up, and if you find one that's interesting, you can put it there. And then the last slide that you're working on, the second to last slide, is you're going to complete each sentence below with your truth. So the first one says, I read best when. So when do you read best? For me, I read best when it's a quiet space, or if it's rainy outside. Those are the days I read best because I like the sound of the rain. It's very calming. Number 2 says reading is important to me because, and that'll look different for everyone. And then the last one says the last book I read was. And then this final slide, we want you to look at the infographic about the benefits of reading on the left-hand side. And you're going to tell us how many books you think you read last school year. And then what is your goal for the number of books you'll read this year? Make sure it's at least 2 more than last year. And then that's what you're going to complete today. If at any moment you are going through this assignment and you are struggling or you need help with something, please let me or Mrs. Williams know, or your teacher, so that we can help you out there.